Well, I did it. I'm worn out. I took a big piece of door making material, and I had decided I was going to make a door for the upstairs to get into the loft a few months ago. But when I bought the two sides of the door and the wood to separate them to make the door, to create the door, the side pieces were too thick. They were 1/4 inch instead of an 1/8 of an inch. You know what a door is like. Anyway, so I had these pieces of particle board or press board or cardboard. I don't know what they are. But anyway, they've been sitting over there behind the piano because you just can't muffle that sound enough. Yeah, I could put insulation back soon. Anyway, anyway, so I used that board and I cut it with my skill saw to be the size of the width of the room, the length of the room. And then I cut pieces out of it like slots at the end so that I could slip it past the hot and cold pipes and the drain pipe for the sink. So I took these little slits out of the side, a little, no, it was almost like you just cut in, down, out. Actually, I just cut two pieces going in, then I broke it off. Anyway, so I did that for one side, and then on the other side I measured from the corner and I cut the hole. I measured where the hole was. And with the skill saw you can pull the guard back and just stick it in. So it works like a jigsaw. You can just stick it right into the wood without having to come in from the side. So I cut a square out for the toilet drain, the sewer. And then I had to cut a piece, slice out so it would slip past the, around the pipe that comes up into the toilet, the cold water pipe. So I did it, I got it in there and it's down. I had to take out all that bamboo pieces I'd put in them because there weren't enough of them. But this is better, this is the right height. But now I'm wasted and so I don't want to put down the linoleum yet. Now this linoleum is no glue linoleum. Probably glued linoleum. Otherwise it's going to roll up on the edges. I could put down trim around the edge, I guess. I mean, why not? What about along the bathtub though? And then of course my long piece of floorboard wasn't quite enough. It was only 4 feet wide in my room there over to the tub was a little more. So I had to use the second big piece of wood, which was really good that I had these boards. They're like plywood, but they're made of something flimsy. Not real flimsy, but they're just really, it's like they're made out of sawdust or something, powder. Anyway, so I cut that, and then of course I cut it wrong, and the room in there is narrow along the bathtub. I don't know. You know, this house isn't square. So it goes 16.5 inches wide at one end and 15 inches at the other. So I had to do my best, and then I laid it down, and where they overlapped I marked it, then I sliced that part off. And now it works. So it's all down. Yay! So I need to put the linoleum down. The linoleum, I don't know why they do it this way, but they always roll up the linoleum backwards. Probably is easier or something. But so when you lay it out, you're unrolling it backwards, and if you bend linoleum, you end up with a crack. It might not be obvious from the top, but it will make a difference. So I need to do the same thing with this. I need to cut one end. I need to unroll one end and measure and cut a square out. I'll use my utility knife, you know, like a carpet knife or something. I'll use that and Hopefully I'll get it right. It's not very nice when you get it in the wrong place. So I'll put that, if I use a bowl to mark where it should be. But the best thing is to just mark from the corners and put an X cut. And then get it in place, and then you can enlarge your X until you get to the edge of where you want your circle, where it fits down over the edge of that drain. And then you can press down with your thumb all the way around it, and then you can cut close to it so you don't end up with a problem. Alrighty then, and then so I'll unroll it. It's all backwards, so I'll unroll it backwards. You know what I mean? Like it's rolled up, face up. It's on the outside of the roll. So you can't just lay it down and kick it and have it unroll. Well, you got to unroll it inch by inch without bending it. And I think it's longer than my room, actually, which means I'll have to cut it. And then I have to cut the little slices so that it can fit. Oh, with this I don't have to cut. Yeah, some of it has to be slices. You know, when they put in the hot and cold pipes, whoever did this made a mess. They put the hot into where the cold should be and the cold where the hot should be, but then they figured out they'd done it wrong, and so they put elbows. And they switched both locations. So you have the pipe comes in and it's supposed to go up, but instead it comes up. Instead of just going straight up, it comes up and it goes over and up. And the other one comes up and goes over the other way and up. Yeah, I know. Somebody did a lousy job, and it wasn't me. That was here before me. I did all the pipes below in the basement. 57 copper connections. Not today. That was a couple years ago. Probably a lot of years ago now. It took me a long time to get a floor back in the basement. I mean, in the bathroom. We had no floor. Anyway, so I'll unroll it. It would probably be best to stand the container up, unroll it, and cut it. But it doesn't stand up very well. You really need a place where you can measure it and lay it out. Well, you know my house. There's not a single area of space where I could do such a thing. Except maybe on a bed. I guess that would work. Maybe that would work. Anyway, so I've got to cut the length and then put the holes in, or some slices, I guess, around where it's going to be. It's best to make slices and not just cut out entire areas, because then wherever you've got a join, you've got the possibility of water getting in there, and it'll curl up and it'll discolor it. If the water gets in underneath the linoleum, it'll stain it from the back. That's why I have to replace this. That's what I'm doing the whole thing for. You know, it'd be better to paint the ceiling before I put the floor in, and paint the wall behind there. I'm gonna keep myself busy to Christmas. Okay, well there you go. So you know now that I have the first part down, and I'm not going to do any more on it now because I'm tired. But I feel very pleased with myself and exhausted. So now I'm going to go watch Bones on my CDs. Willem bought me the 5th season of Bones. I've seen Bones for years, but I only see an odd show now and then. Anyway, I shall watch Bones. Goodbye.